you should be getting yourself right, aren't you? And good afternoon, Linda.
Good afternoon, Owen. How was your yesterday? Now you're back. We are happy.
Yeah, of course, the weather that being chilly always affects me. I'm one of the persons.
Who welcome? So should I say welcome back because you were not here yesterday?
We were welcome, all of us.
Good afternoon, viewers. What's your time? 2 to 3. The house is full. Good afternoon, Benson.
Yeah, good afternoon, Susie. Good afternoon, Owen. We don't forget the viewers. We need to greet them because they are watching us. Good afternoon to you. And like Owen said, we are full packed. The studio is full packed with all the soccer pundits, and we are going to give you a lot. And this time we are going to discuss different sporting fraternities. One thing we'll talk about in National Stories is all about the Rugby Cup. Uganda Cup. People think that the Uganda Cup is only in football, but it's in all the sporting fraternities. What you do is just stay next to a screen, and the channel, of course, will have to be that one of West Nile TV.
Yep, that's one of the biggest things that we should be talking about right away. But of course, all in all, we want to start with a big story coming in from that is the FUFA Big League. Of course, a couple of games were played yesterday, and out of these games, some teams got wins, some teams got positives, some teams got, of course, draws, and others lost the games right there. Now, of course, one of the biggest is the defeat that, of course, Onduparaka Football Club got into, that is their way through yesterday at Jinja. And of course, one of the biggest things someone would ask, what could be the problem? That is where I want to start from, Linda.
Onduparaka, basically, I think Onduparaka just has to...
Yeah, you look at the defeat Onduparaka actually picked into the hands of the team Zinza North United. I think Onduparaka this time they need to do something because ever since Onduparaka actually went to StarTimes Uganda Premier League, people said that they actually opened the eyes of the Ugandans to follow the StarTimes Uganda Premier League. And now being relegated to the second tier of Ugandan football, we are talking about FUFA Big League. You look at how it has started for them. The vibe seems to be going down. Out of the 7 games they have played, only winning 3, and it has taken their points tally to that 9th and their 10th as far as the table standing is concerned. And you look at the team alone, speaking about the team, people have looked at the team as a small god, a small team, a small god in the StarTimes. In fact, not only in the StarTimes Uganda Premier League, StarTimes was one that we are in the league by then. But right now, they are actually one of the big teams if you talk about Ugandan football. But out of the games they have so far played, they have only won 30%, I should say 70%. Of course, have been defeats on their side because in total, 7 games played, only winning 3. That means if this is the way how they are performing, at the beginning of the season, actually I said they are actually one of the contenders to seal the promotion back to where they were relegated. But if this is the way how they are performing, it may not work. Not only failing to earn the promotion back, and at the same time, it will make teams to forget about them. They will at one point be like the Prolines of these days, because you look at how Proline was performing and get relegated to FUFA Big League. Now they are nowhere to be seen, and of late people don't even talk about them. You only see one person talking about Proline unless the person is relating a story or is trying to give a history about a personality. So on the Paraka this time they will need to start doing things in a positive way if they will still want to be like how they started some years back.
I can confirm to you, the Baraka fans will always be right there, whether they go to the regional league, whether they go to the big league, and that's one thing, because Baraka still remains one of the biggest team, just like how they've kept it right there, because you look at how the team dropped from the big league, and you thought, well, from the FUFA StarTimes Uganda Premier League to big league, and very many would think maybe the fans were not going to be there. They still come in large numbers. It's one of the biggest team, in that is the big league that of course still has the fan base that is right there amidst all the challenges that have come in there. You go to Greenlight, you will see the numbers that are there. You see the away games, they will still travel with the team. I think one big challenge that comes in such a moment is that of course only how of course currently the team is yet performing. Trust me, Onduparaka, if they were winning all the games, and the misery always comes when they go out. So that means the thing is how do you work on that is working on to making sure that you get the away wins. That is it. So Susie, you're still telling us about this, and what could have caused the loss to you?
Onduparaka, I think Onduparaka has not just basically monitored very well how to beat their away teams, I will say. They've critically started winning home teams. You know, Big League is one a league that is tough. I always say Big League is actually the toughest league in Uganda compared to the biggest style of football. There is sometimes Uganda Premier League. So playing in Big League, trust me, especially the sides that are new entrants, they're always tough. You don't have a history with them. You're facing yourselves for the first time, so you don't know what to work on. There are no, I will say there are no past papers to revise on how we lost the other time, what we need to do, what we need to add, and all that. So it's going to be a little bit hard, and with the coach himself being also new into the current league, I will say this is something big. He has been coaching teams in 4th division. We all know that. There is Samson Sizo Kuti. Much as he played with, he one time featured in Big League. That was with the side. There is now in UPL. There is Arua Hill Soccer Club, but there he was a player, not a coach. So he basically just had to enter the field and follow instructions. But here his instructions are coming from him. So it's yet a little bit tough for Samson Sizo Kuti to analyze exactly what is needed to get these wins away. But home, we see it's always a smooth run for them.
Very many have raised concerns about players playing in the 24 hours, playing 2 games, and of course it looks a little bit a challenge that have caused fatigue to some of the players here and there. Could that be one of the problems, as Benson, maybe you could say?
Yes, that's one of the challenges on Onduparaka, not only the team of Onduparaka, but this time we are looking at Onduparaka, they could be facing, because some of the boys that featured in the game yesterday against Zinza North United, they were also in the squad with West Nile Province. Though some of them did not play, but they were in the team. That means they might have limited time to train with the rest of the teammates. And at the same time, I think Onduparaka's performance has started alarming the fans. Why am I saying this one? I think some of the fans, they have started picking drills to actually get the nut where the problem could be. You have talked about their head coach, that Samson Sizo Kuti. Thanks that you have actually given the CV. Still a new coach into FUFA Big League matches. He also had a season, but by then he was a player, a new coach into the system. And Onduparaka stayed for, I remember the last time actually they played in the league was in 2015. Now almost coming to 10 years they have not been into the league. Maybe the other point you mentioned, some good number of years they have not mastered how to play into the league. And the fact is, the fans, of course, they have started asking themselves, is the problem coming from the coach himself, or else it is the players? The players, do they not qualify? Is the quality of players, do they not match to play in FUFA Big League? I think so many fans, of course, they're asking themselves, because this is a new team being relegated from a big league, a very big league, the Star Times Uganda Premier League. People don't expect them to perform like that. That's why I came up with the other statement. If they are not serious, they will be like a pro line, because they were relegated. They won Stanbic Uganda Cup. They came to FUFA Big League. Now they have disappeared. Now playing in the regional league. Now when you disappear and go to play into the various regional leagues, people don't keep much eyes on you. So Onduparaka will have to be very, very careful. What they need to do is they should sit down and scrutinize the problem such that they start to flourish with the results.
Okay, it's one of the biggest things that are happening right there. Of course, match day 7 for Onduparaka, and they are going to have a game at hand to play match day 8, because some teams like Calvary and the rest who have played already 8 games already, that probably would be making in there. But of course, you would see that it still requires back to Big League is all about money, and if you don't have the money to get the quality that you need, I can confirm to you Onduparaka's club right now, as being the public relations officer, is a team that, of course, Onduparaka recruited basing on what exactly is at hand. And you don't go for something that you can't afford than going for an expensive Benson who will not stay at the camp and run away because there's no money to pay you, maybe. That's one challenge that could be coming right there in the long run. But of course, unless this is sorted out, then the team can run smoothly everything that comes in right there. So it's one of the biggest things. But with that, Susie, next game is, of course, the next game is going to be at Greenlight Stadium this Thursday. One of the biggest games I probably could be saying. Karo Karunji is coming to Arua. And what we are seeing in there, what probably could you have learned from that?
Karo Karunji is one side that is a little bit tough. We've seen them pick wins even when they are visitors. And this time around, Onduparaka, I am seeing a draw for them because Benson talked about fatigue. Owen Equal talked about fatigue. This has been a congestion, I will say, for Team Onduparaka because one, you'll equally see that most of the guys that Caesar used, most of the boys Samson Caesar used on Sunday against Buganda, most of them are Onduparaka players. And then that was Sunday. And then these guys traveled, I think they traveled on Saturday. Sunday they had a game which they had to play out their lungs to win, which they did. And then they only rested, they didn't even rest. Yesterday was Monday, I thought today was Wednesday. Yesterday was Monday, and they equally had a game that was now Onduparaka alone, and we saw them lose out. That was fatigue. And then probably today, if they're traveling, they'll only have to rest tomorrow, which is Wednesday. They will basically only have tomorrow and Thursday. And now here comes Karukarunji, who has been resting all these other times that Onduparaka has been traveling and playing and all that. So it's quite going to be a little bit hard for Onduparaka to actually pick a smooth win on Thursday because fatigue will basically rest on these guys on their legs and the brains as well, because football, basically everything comes from the brain. So I am seeing a tough one for Onduparaka on Thursday.
Of course, the team arrived in the night, and today they will be having their first training of that is the game at around 3, 4. There will be that is the camp probably to do trainings. Tomorrow another training, then of course the game day on that is Thursday. But all in all, it's you could see the pile of congestion in there. Someone who asked me, couldn't Federation change this to another day? I remember yesterday the game also kicked up late due to bad weather. There was a lot of water in that place. If you see the games that were running, and in fact they were swimming in water. But all in all, you would see that there was a very big challenge that came through in there. So they will have to really make sure that this is worked upon. But of course it also comes back to you how, because the body will always get tired, the travel, the coming in there, and those are some of the big things that will be coming in there. But of course we hope for the best. Of course, just like they had in there, we saw very many players pushing in there. But all in all, that is what happened yesterday. We did also see Ndeje University play against Blacks Power, a game that ended 1-1 in there, but which of course for Blacks Power is not bad. Ndeje gets its 4th point of the season right there, but still we talk about Benson about this.
Yeah, they have started picking up. The other time they picked a win against Calvary. This time picking a draw against one of the biggest sides is not a bad one. Oh, and there is one thing still I want to put about Onduparaka. Onduparaka's challenge, I know, is going to take long. That's according to me. Why am I saying this one? When Onduparaka was in Star Times Uganda Premier League, the players that we are playing for the club, they had stayed for long together. But you look at the current squad of Onduparaka, the squad seems to be scattered, and most of the players that have stayed for a longer period of time together at the club, they all went, most of them, 70 to 80% of them went away. Onduparaka challenge is most of these boys that are currently playing for the club, they are still new, and they are still trying to adapt the playing style, how they can be able to play together. That's one challenge I've looked at the camp of Onduparaka Football Club. And something like 10 seconds about their game with the Karo Karunji, just like Onduparaka, they have also recollected themselves after the win against Inter Boys yesterday. Yeah, actually before that they have also been losing games. I think about 2 to 3 games they have also not performing very well. I think Onduparaka can use that advantage of Karo Karunji not being on form. They can actually do something against the team of Karo Karunji if they are serious. But in Ndeje University, I think they have started. Because normal when you don't start the season very well and you pick one win, that win will always morale boost you. As I said, picking a draw against the Blacks Power is not all that a bad one.
All right, it's one of the biggest things that we should be, of course, looking into. But I want to, as now here, let me talk as the PRO. We are coming fully force to win the game. But anyway, there were a couple of games. Police Football Club played against Calvary. I remember that time it was 1-0. Then we did see Boma FC playing against Mbale Heroes. Mbale Heroes is another team to talk about, guys. It's one of the team that is from Mbale, and they're doing very, very well. No scapegoat from where exactly it is. No way you will escape when you are in their home. they are doing very, very good. And a new entrance into the team, you've ever seen them before. They were called Mbale Garage, but this time around Mbale Heroes. They've been in this league for some time. Then of course looked into what exactly they needed to put right there. So those are some of the things that are coming in there. Mbale Heroes is doing good. Susie, what do we look at Mbale? Because where they are on table, when I'm going to give you would see that they are in a far good position where exactly they should be at. Number 3 is not a bad one.
This is something I really expected out of Mbale Heroes. I remember I started following these people even before they crossed to Big League. I follow them a lot, and if you look at the zeal and the energy they put before actually crossing over to there is a Big League, you literally attribute. You would not be surprised because of their current position and because of the points or because of the results that they are picking. If you look at Mbale Heroes, last season they missed, by the way, narrowly crossing to Big League, just like how Police missed in the hands of NEC crossing over to StarTimes Uganda Premier League. So last season they missed out in the finals. They were beaten in the finals that actually ended on a draw and went to penalties and all that. That's how they lost. And as they went back to the regional leagues, I think they played out their hearts and they told themselves this time around they really don't have to miss out, and they are coming up. We are seeing slowly by slowly they are sneaking, I would say. That position, by the way, is going to be a surprise and a shocker to almost everyone. No one expected them to come up and sit at position number 3, but here, as you have just been telling us that actually they sit at position number 3. To me, this is not a surprise because those boys play good football. They are disciplined, unlike their neighbors who are always having issues here and there. So they are not indisciplined like their neighbors. We've not registered any hooliganism act from them and all that. So unless otherwise, I think Mbale Heroes is a sight to watch, and we shouldn't be surprised when they take over the table by storm.
Yes, Benson.
I think it's only.
You're surprised about Mbale Heroes.
I am not so surprised because you look at how they were also doing in the signings in the summer transfer window. They were doing it in a critical way, tactical way, in a clever way. That's how they are performing. That's why rather they are performing like that. I think they are the only newly promoted side trying to perform very well. Young Elephant is trying, but it's not up to the level of Mbale Heroes. But the good thing is the table, each and every round, the table keeps on alternating, and we never know. Anytime you will see them overpowering Police, but that chance is only very slim because Police, they are actually like the headmasters of a certain some primary schools. So we are waiting to see.
You talked about Mbale Heroes, that is right there. We've talked about Young Elephant. They won their game against Kataka. It was 3-2 that Young Elephants won in there. And for me, it's not a surprise, one. They were at home, 2. I saw the way they played against Onduparaka at Green Light Stadium.
That is the first win of the season so far.
Yes, but it was very, very nice that you could be seeing in there, getting back home to probably make sure that they rehearse and make sure that they win game, because you did see them. That the first goal they scored of the season was against Onduparaka. That was their first goal of the season. That means they learned something here and went and worked on it, and which of course has helped them to get this win against now the team of Kataka FC. That shows you how exactly the team is improving every day and now to make sure that things work the way they need. So that's how exactly a team is supposed to push. But it doesn't stop them from still going off there. They still look to be one of the teams in the relegation. That's their 5th point, but -7 goals in right there. So this, and step by step, do we see the improvement coming, or we shall still see them getting demoted?
Young Elephants seems to be they seem to be a very organized side, and I would say they are actually they have all the energy, they have trust in themselves. I will say they have trust in themselves, and if you look at their qualification, it was quite a very narrow one. We discussed this yesterday with Benson. I say actually coach was supposed to be in that position, but then whoever advised them to walk out of the pitch actually did one of the biggest mistakes, and I equally saw that a Young Elephant was suffocating as they started the season. To me, the preparation wasn't so much, but then the other day when they came to Onduparaka, I remember hosting their coach and their CEO. There is Jemba Kot Ola and Daniel Ola. So they both looked so serious. They looked determined. and they say that they've come to stay. And if you look at the energy levels that they are putting, it's quite sure that unless otherwise the results will just not come. But the whole team is very organized. The players are organized and determined. Everyone has the trust and beat. And if they continue like that, trust me, they can, by the way, stand in the league and contain the league. Maybe unless otherwise, for qualifications, they should start looking at that probably in the seasons to come, if only they can maintain and remain in the league.
The Karo Karunji Onduparaka is playing on Thursday is a team that, of course, had a victory yesterday, which makes them go to number 7, and that's one big thing that, of course, had in there. They had, in fact, that game was on Monday, and they won against Jinda Boys by 1-0. Very interesting, very impressive for them, and they are lying at number 7 right there with 10 points, 1 point shy on Onduparaka Football Club right there. Now, this is a team that is coming to play. They got their home win, they got the win at home, and they are going away. Are we expecting the oscillation just move like the way they did it? Because if you look at the standing, they have won so far 3 games of their game, drawn once and lost 4 times. Of course, the team Onduparaka has not lost any game. They have won 3 and they have not drawn.
You look at the team of Karo Karunzi, if they will be coming with that positive mentality or ideology when it comes to playing against West Nile based sides, I think they will be doing it against the team of Onduparaka. Why am I saying this one? You look at their past records against Calvary, because Calvary has always been their frequent opponents when it comes to West Nile side. They have always been picking positive results against the team of Calvary. Now coming against Onduparaka Football Club, I spoke something positive about Onduparaka Football Club, which might help them to pick something against Karo Karunzi if they will flash back and look at the form of Karo Karunzi. I said apart from the win they actually picked yesterday against Sinda, recently around the 2 to 3 games they have also been picking defeats. Onduparaka can do something, but it's a 50-50 scenario. First of all, Onduparaka will have to rely on the records, the worst run, the 2 to 3 games they have been performing. Meanwhile, for the team of Karo Karunzi, they will have that positive mentality. They have always been doing it against West Nile based sides, but Calvary is a different club, Onduparaka is a different club, and both sides, Onduparaka will have to recollect themselves from that humiliation defeat rather they had into the hands of Jinja North United. And also another advantageous thing for the Caterpillars is, of course, they are the home side, but still I am looking at a 50-50 chance for the both sides.
Lugazi will be playing Chetume, and that game is today at 4 p.m. and we shall be waiting for the result, maybe in depth analysis about it. Lugazi so far played 6 games, and Chetume are also trying so much. They are at number at number 4. They have played 7 games, right there, 13 points. What are we expecting? They are going to Lugazi.
Chetume against Lugazi, I'm seeing the odds that is according to me favoring there is a Chetume. They have always been a better side there is the Bet Power Big League. And if you look at their history that you recently gave us and all of the games actually they've played, you'll equally see that
they've played 4 games. They've won 4 games. They've drawn once and they've lost twice.
Basically that compared to the rest of the teams that actually have played in there is a Bet Power. I see an upper hand for there is a Chetume, but then unless otherwise these days you don't actually rule out any team in Big League. Any team
now what I can say about that is normally ruling out a team at his home is very hard. Lugazi rarely loses at home. Lugazi is at home and it is very hard for them to lose at home. Out of the wins that Lugazi has picked, 3 wins, all these wins, most of them have come from home. And you would see that it gives you an advantage of, at home. They have drawn twice and losing once. That shows you how they are able, or hard sided to move in there.
And it's true. You look at Chetume and the Lugazi, the table standing, each of them not far away from the other one. They're almost close to each other. If I may relate it, it's like Spurs playing Newcastle right now. You just said that it's a 50-50 game, but home side, just you have said, will actually be having upper hand in this game. But in case they will also be slippery. That's when you will see the away side coming to collect everything and leaving you with empty hand.
We've seen people being beaten at home these days. Those that usually had a hard rock to knock at home, we've seen all of those records being broken. That's why I was saying when it comes to big league, we are not ruling out any team, by the way. Any side these days tends to lose.
We have also not ruled out your say of teams can win anywhere, but we are saying the advantage goes to Lugazi because at home they are solely robbed. They've lost none at home, I think. They won at Calvary, at Midigo here, came and won 2 at home and played 2 draws. So it shows you how exactly also stiff they are probably ahead of what exactly is coming in there. But of course, this is how the table standing is. Police on top with after 7 games played with 16 points, 5 wins, 1 draw, 1 loss. Blacks Power at number 2 after 8 games. They have won 4 of their games and 2 draws, 2 losses, 14 points. And then you have number 3 is Mbale Heroes after playing 7 games. They have 3 wins, 4 draws, and no lose yet. They are still the only unbeaten team into the league. Yes, they are. And then you have Chetume, that is at number 4 with 7 games played, 13 points. They are, of course, the same like Mbale Heroes. Boma at number 5 with 12 points, 7 games played, 3 wins for them. And Lugazi at number 6 with 6 games played, 11 points. And then you have Kataka at number 8 with 7 games played, 10 points. Calvary at number 9 with 8 games played, and of course 9 points. You have Unduparaka at number 10 with 9 points, 7 games played. Then you have Ginger North United at 8 points, and number 11, they are off the relegation. Chiinda at number 12 with of course 8 points, and then of course 7 games played. Tigeze Homeboys have played 7 games and 7 points. And then you also have Young Elephant with 5 points and 8 games played, as Ndeje University after playing 6 games they have 4 points right there. That's how exactly the table standing over the FUFA Big League is. And